Welcome back, Bobblefans, to another fun-filled episode of the Bobblehead Boys. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood game master, Paul Reaume. How you been? How you doing? We're having a great time on our end. When we last left our party, they successfully retrieved the copper spring from the Super Mutant base. Now it's up to them to decide what to do with it. It's a moral dilemma, and it was the topic of our last poll. We asked you guys, what do you think they should do? And for those of you who cast a vote, you're pretty divided between donating it back to the church or bartering some sort of a deal and selling it. Well, I mean, then there was James, who thinks that the party should melt it down. Sometimes it's hard to tell where Duncan ends and James begins. But enough of that. Back to the show. So you guys managed to blow up the parking garage where the super mutants were holding on to that copper spring that the ladies at McMinster wanted.
Are gonna pay for.
Well, let's go resolve that. So we know. Because I don't want anybody to be surprised.
Okay.
So our reputation will matter a lot as we go on to different things. So there are so many settlements, and every settlement that's in the book has little side quests already predetermined for them. So you can go around and we can do a whole bunch of side quests. How the campaign moves forward is like once you've done X amount of side quests, now it's like the next chapter of the campaign becomes unlocked. So we have like one more side quest to do before the next chapter of the main campaign gets unlocked. So with settlements, you have like a reputation rank with every settlement that you guys go through and interact with. And you generally start at like a rank of 2, which is neutral. They don't know what quite to make of you, but they're welcoming you in.
I think I start less.
So you generally, when you're doing an individual thing yourself, you're going to have a harder time because you're a synth and it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Other places like Tiberius may have a hard time at Diamond City because he's a super mutant. They have bad history with super mutants. But as a group, you have a reputation rank with every settlement. So as you do things, your reputation rank can go up or down when you go to those places. When you reach reputation rank of 3, then you can start doing settlement tasks, which can earn you caps. It can earn you more experience. It can increase your reputation further, so it makes it easier for you to do things while you're interacting in that settlement. In the end, it all depends on how you guys want to play it out, what you want to do. But I just want to explain that because it'll play out as the campaign itself works out. Because later on, and I haven't read far ahead, I just read the warnings. It's like every decision you make now will affect you later. So when the big crescendo of the campaign happens, like a lot of these decisions that we've made at different settlements will affect us. So you can literally walk through every settlement and burn it to the ground.
I was about to ask you that.
You can absolutely. I won't stop you. I won't stop you if I talk about it. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to talk you out of it or talk you into it. I just want you to know, like, the parameters that we're operating in. Everything is flammable, and I'm not going to stop you. I want you to understand the consequences of me not stopping you.
There can't be any consequences if there's no one left alive to consequence you.
That's true.
That's like Hitman mentality. You can't have witnesses if there's nobody left to witness.
Exactly. It's a very Duncan way of looking at things. Now the other thing, as we're coming back to McMinster, it's been a long little while. You guys have been on quite the trek. Now there's a super mutant in your party. There's an obvious synth in your party. There is another person in your party that knows that he's a synth, but everybody else would not necessarily be aware that he's a synth. And then there's Joel, who is still traveling along with us at this point. But for the super mutant and the humans, you've been at it for a little while. Like, we've been traveling. It's cold. We were starting to set up camp in the ruins of old Boston. We didn't really find a lot of stuff to build the camp, and then you got not really ambush. You did the ambushing on the scavengers out there. We got into that fight, took off to McMinster, and then went to the parking garage, did that whole thing, and now we're on our way back to McMinster. No rest.
Damn it, for the wicked.
No food.
For the wicked.
So some of you are affected by this. For the non synth people,
Wow, he just said it.
I threw it out there. I'm drawing that.
I can't
line.
believe the discrimination.
I know. Right?
I am
Yeah,
a leader of the Lord.
I am offended. You are suffering from fatigue and multiple forms of it, unfortunately, because we haven't taken the time to eat, we haven't taken the time to sleep, and we are exposed to cold.
I don't know about you, but I've been nibbling
I got food.
I'm on a silk bean this whole time. So, and some canned dog food that I've been gnawing at the can trying to
Oh,
open.
it's so good for you.
Yeah.
That's all
juices
you
out.
need. That's all you need. So as we come into McMinster, you guys are looking a little haggard. You're pretty tired, pretty worse for wear. Fatigue points will affect how you accumulate AP points. It'll limit. So if you are suffering from cold, food, and hunger, you would be suffering from 3 fatigue points, which means it's like a buffer to the AP points that you can get. So you'd have to get 4 before you get 1.
Gotcha.
It takes
So we're
3
suffering
AP. That's
2,
just
so
how
we need to get
fatigue
3.
works. We haven't had to come across it yet,
That's
but
not
that's
the
where you are
successes.
right
It's
now.
just about extra successes to get AP
Yes.
would be affected. Okay.
So if we're suffering from 2 right now from sleep and food, then we need to get 3 extra successes to get 1.
And cold.
Oh, we are cold?
Yeah. Oh, it's cold.
I'm never
yeah.
cold.
Winter is out there. Winter is out there.
Build a man on
I
fire.
would
He's warm
actually-
for a day. Set a man on fire. He's warm for the
So
rest of his life.
I would even say, to be honest, I would say like maybe even like forget the cold one
Oh, wow.
because you
That was
guys spent some time in the parking garage, so like you haven't been exposed like indefinitely to the cold, and even you had some time in the shelter at the Boston roof, so maybe the cold isn't as big right now, but you definitely haven't slept. And you definitely haven't eaten enough to sustain yourself. So there's 2 fatigue points. So you have this choice to make as we're coming into back in McMinster. So when you guys were in McMinster before, you noticed there was like people working on kind of the perimeter around the church, putting up ramshackle materials and stuff. It looks like they were rebuilding a barrier. None of that is happening right now. Doesn't look like the work is done, but it's not happening at the moment. You're able to walk right in as you were before. When you first enter Minster, you would go into limbo, which is where all the queues are, where everybody's sleeping and making themselves stuff to eat. What are your priorities as you come into McMinster? Are you going for the bargaining? Are we going to go talk about bringing this coil? Do you guys want to take some time to eat, sleep, knowing that it affects your APs? Because if you go in and you're trying charisma tests,
I'm going
and
in.
if you want your APs, then I just want you to be educated in your choice.
Well, without the APs, our DM's probably going to slap us silly. So.
I'm going to throw my
I'm trying to
bedroll
help.
right onto a pew and just make myself at home.
You're just gonna you
Yeah,
gotta rest. You're tired.
Yeah.
You gotta take some rest time. You gotta rest before you go talk to the Reverend Riveter. You are the other human person there, Quintilius.
I feel like if I rest now, these mechanoids.
I'll take the. While you guys rest, I'll take the coil, and I'll deliver it for
I
everybody.
may have helped him with a Brahmin, but I don't trust him as far as I can kick him. I accompany him, even though I'm fatigued, because a quest needs to be finished.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's only if you guys give me the coil. Right now, I think the big super mutant has
Oh,
it.
Tiberius.
Tiberius will be holding it.
Yeah, 'cause
Tiberius is he is also the
Tiberius likes me the most. I'm just saying.
well, he is susceptible to all of these things as well. So I would suggest that
probably
Tiberius
wants to
is
sleep.
probably tired and hungry and cold.
And he just ran out of a blowing up
yeah,
building
yeah.
behind.
So if you guys,
But it looked cool because the explosion happened, and he was like,
Yes.
yeah. So I assume he wants to rest. Do you guys want to argue with the super mutant?
We can roll for it.
I would like to take the coil from gently. Persuasion.
With my words.
yeah. I'm not going to physically overpower him. I'll lower strength 4.
Let me take this from you just in case.
Okay, while you sleep.
All right, roll a charisma and speech test. Difficulty is 1.
Oh, cool. That's a 1. I got 1 success.
1 success. That's all you need. Begrudgingly. So, well, tell me, how do you explain this to Tiberius? Because he's holding on to the coil, and he seems pretty happy with it. That's his prize.
The room that we're heading to is Too small for you to go up. Let me take the coil to the top of the tower. Rest, my friend.
Wasn't he there before?
Shh. He scaled the outside like King Kong. He's too tired to do that now.
He's tired to remember. And he thinks about it. He's kind of hesitant. He's like, wow, I do believe I was there before.
It was tight.
But I am also very tired.
I had splinters on shoulders.
I mean, you did what you needed to do. So begrudgingly, he does hand you over the coil. So
Also,
you
I'm pretty
got
sure the coil is how heavy would you say the coil is? Isn't it huge?
It's a big coil.
Yeah, it's
you're
gonna be
like I imagine
tire
you're
spring.
like two hands, like you're not doing anything else.
I feel like he's dragging it.
Or you could be dragging it, but it's big enough that
going up
yeah.
the step,
Each
going
step.
all the way to the top of a bell tower.
No, I got this. You rest. Just drags it up the steps. Yeah, that's more like it.
Wow.
So yeah, I take the spring up to Bugsy.
Yeah.
Take the spring and rest.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so
I can cuddle it.
so Duncan and Tiberius are staying down and resting, if I understand, and everybody else is heading on up. All right, so it's Sister Guyver that's up in the steeple.
Bugsy Guyver.
And she lights up as you guys come in. Oh, guys, you're back! You're back! Where there's light, there is hope. I'm so happy to see you guys. I see you found the coil. I can hear you coming up the stairs.
There's also darkness.
You can't have light without darkness.
So thank you so much. You brought the coil. Then that means we can put my de-radiation device together, and that's perfect. Thank you.
I mean, I haven't given you the spring.
No, I see it. It's right there. You just have to hand it over and just put it in the device.
Tap it in.
Just tap it in.
500 caps.
Tap, tap.
I want this room as my penthouse.
So there's a whole lot of problems with those ideas.
Let's hurt our DM.
So, like I said, I can help you. There's a lot of issues. You don't seem to be very interested in the radioactive de-radiation activities because you're still glowing. But other people seem to be affected by this, and I can help you anytime that you guys need any radiation treatment or anything like that. I can do that for free.
My weaker companions require it, so I will give you the spring so you can aid them.
Oh, that was pretty easy.
Or wait, because you, as I was handing it over to you, you said, "Well, that was easy." I was like, "That sounds like a supervillain thing that you just said with your doomsday ray at the top of
I'm
a
just
church."
really curious about this guy with the glowing eye too. He seemed to flinch a little bit when you were so quick to hand it over to me.
I do not ask for rewards. I am a man of the people. But a donation to the church would go a long way.
I figure Ryker's probably going to have some moral pull to this.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a good.
I'm just sitting back watching this all happen.
Yeah.
But to
You would
me,
be aware of what churches were pre-war, and this is a pre-war
Okay.
church, massive thing, and what it represented before the wars, and what it seems to represent now.
I'm watching this all play out because right now I feel like you're about to do the right thing.
All right, this is
Yeah.
a good partnership here. Yeah, it'll help.
My motivation is not cap related whatsoever. I just feel like we need to give back to spring.
But how will you afford your building of curds and whey?
I need cheese and bread.
Well, that guy's got a Brahmin. You could probably milk its teats.
No. All right, we've got to give up the spring.
We hand the spring over because we're good people. And
That's right.
And I'm pretty sure Riker's
Oh,
got
it
some
happened.
radiation damage currently.
Yeah, he's a synth.
Oh, we can't.
But we don't
You
know
have
that.
it.
I
then.
do.
Yeah, we
Very
don't
much
know
suffering.
that. You're suffering. I think I'm suffering, but I don't care.
I'm pretending to suffer.
Ooh.
Oh, my
Feels
ankle.
like Chernobyl.
Oh, my ankle.
My ankle.
We all remember Chernobyl, right?
Yeah, that's where the radiation sits in the ankles.
So we're gonna hand over the spring to the person. All right. So a couple things are gonna happen right away. She takes it. Oh wow!
There's
And
no way
the-
she just takes it.
Oh, I mean, she takes it. She falls a little bit to the floor. It's like one of those things where it's
She
like a
takes
big
it on the
strong
floor?
guy, has something big and heavy and hands it over to somebody like no big thing, and they grab it and they're like, oh, thanks guys, this is so great. She kind of like tries to start dragging it over. She said, I'm going to put that there for now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it there. She got it about a foot away from where you handed it over. And
You guys happen to know a super mutant?
just one second. I'll be right back. And she goes and runs downstairs out of the steeple
We take
very
back
quickly.
Sell it to her again.
Based on this decision, we're going to do a reputation test.
That's right.
So this is a deciding factor of how your reputation is impacted by this decision. So right now, going into Mechminster, you have a reputation of 2, which means they're neutral to you. But we just did some stuff. So who has the highest charisma in the group right now?
And before.
I got a 6.
4.
Wow.
Oh no, the man who would not give it away without caps.
You got a 6.
What about
Nice.
Tiberius? I hope
So
his charisma
we're gonna
is
take
I don't think
your
it is.
charisma,
It had to
which
be a
is
6 to get the dog.
we're gonna take your charisma, which is 6, and we're gonna add your reputation rank, which is 2, to give you 8. And then we get to add on any positive bonuses. I think you did a nice thing. You handed over the coil. You didn't push for any major payback from them. So I would say you get a bonus for that. It brings your number up to 9. So that would be your target number for your reputation test. The difficulty is 1. The difficulty of a reputation test would go on, or would go higher, if you have any negative impacts, right? So right now, if you had made a different decision, your target number would be 8, and your difficulty would go up because maybe it's like, okay, they appreciate it, but like it leaves a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So you need 1 success, and the target number is 8.
9.
9, sorry, 9.
Yeah.
I was testing you, making sure you're paying.
I got a 1. Does that count as a critical success?
That does
It's
count
2
as a
successes.
critical success.
But are you cold?
So you get another AP for passing that, and because you passed, your reputation with the Mechminster goes up by 1. So now you're at reputation 3 with Mechminster. They like you. They trust you enough to let you do like settlement tasks while you're at Mechminster. While we're on the note of doing that, because I like to get everything caught up, we did some things back at Diamond City as well, and we may as well do a reputation test for there. That one's up for a little bit of bartering because there's some things that happened in Diamond City. So again, you're 6, you're +2 because you started at 2 with Diamond City. Say +1 because you did the train job with them. They really appreciated that. So I mean that gets you up to 9. Now there's some other things that happen. It might make it a little harder for you. Is there any other good that you feel you did in Diamond City that can help contribute to this?
We threatened a bunch of guards to give back a cow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help with your reputation in there.
We didn't kill the guards.
that is true.
I woke up in a hospital and I didn't kill the doctors.
Yeah, we'll call that a draw. Is there anything that you feel could potentially work against you for your reputation?
We have an
in Diamond City?
arsonist in our midst.
What?
You did literally try to burn down one of you.
Is it Steve? Is it Jim? Is it Pyro? We don't know.
So the Diamond City one, I say at the very least would be a target number 9. It's a difficulty of 2 to see where you sit in Diamond City.
You got an AP?
Yeah, sure. I'll use an AP. Just because I want to.
Yeah, you want to roll the good die. Except for it's going to shit the bed.
Not much. 10. Oh, but I got a 2 and an 8, so we're good.
Wow.
Good. You got 2 successes.
Mhm.
Nice. There you go. So you pass that. So your
Snap.
reputation in Diamond City goes up to 3. So you guys are trusted in both Diamond City and Mechminster right now. So you can do little side quests and settlement tasks that can help improve your things. As you improve your reputation in there, it makes things easier when it comes time
This one
to
was really good.
talk to people, get information, and then it can unlock other things. So like easy example is like Mechminster has a bunch of like they have like a workbench, right? So they can like work on armor and weapons and stuff. So
Wait,
That
a
might be
gun
something.
workbench?
Scientific, I think. Yeah, they've been working on armor and guns are the two things that they've been working on for the Minutemen. All right, so after a few minutes of Sister Geiger being out of the room, she comes back and she's followed by
You guys distracted me. I should have looted her room.
Reverend Riveter. Reverend Riveter comes into the room,
Sounds like a frog.
and she's carrying a leather pouch, and she hands it over to you guys. There are 50 caps in the leather pouch.
Thank you. I will donate these to the people.
I thank you so much for helping Sister Geiger with her efforts up here. I'm sure they're going to help us in the coming storm of the winter. Where there's light, there's hope. There's not much that we can offer to you, but we did ask those of our patrons that are in limbo who have been coming to seek solace here in McMinster, and we've been able to gather this donation for your party. And so there you are. You got 50 caps to do with as you please.
Here are 10 for you, 20 for you, and 20 for me. You're asleep downstairs.
I know I am.
You don't even know
This
we
is
got
not
your
Duncan
reward.
looking at you. This is me looking at you.
You bought a flamer.
You're damn
You
right.
need nothing.
I can see me doing.
I divvied out as I saw fit as the team leader.
If I recall correctly, it was my plan.
Actually, that was my plan that went through, where we told him to sneak in while you guys
That
set
was
up
your plan.
the
yes.
car traps.
Yeah. So, Reverend Riveter, while you are here, you're welcome to stay. I apologize, we don't have much in the way of accommodations. Limbo has people are setting up their bedrolls on the pews. We are working on setting up what was once a pastor's house adjoined to the church, and when that's ready, I'd be happy to provide you lodging there. In the meantime, there's a few tasks that we could definitely use your help with if you're willing to stick around and help as you have already. We're just very thankful for you so far.
I mean, I just carried a giant spring up the stairs. I would like to go to bed now. We pick up Duncan like a child, and we take him to the bed.
Oh,
I'm
he's already
sleeping,
in
on,
there.
I'm sleeping on the pew.
Yeah,
with
but
my
we have an
bedroll.
actual lodging now that we can.
No, that's not ready yet.
Oh, it's not ready.
When
yet.
it's ready, yeah.
Oh,
right
then
now
I curl
it's
up.
Check-in
with
time
you.
isn't
Then I
until
curl
5
up in
o'clock.
Duncan's bedroll with
curl
him.
up with them. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, to conserve warmth. It's a cold winter.
Perfect.
Plus, I would like a nightlight for you so you don't get scared in the dark.
Should I roll to see if I acknowledge that he just did this? Because I don't think I'm going to be too keen on someone
I think you're
cuddling.
so tired right now.
I don't even realize.
You don't even know.
I whisper in
At
your-
this app?
I whisper
I'm totally letting
I
you
whisper
down.
in Duncan's ear, you can choose which spoon you are.
All right, so we're gonna take some time to rest because really that's what most of you should do, anyways.
So look
Now, the obvious thing is that like Duncan's already sleeping, Tiberius is resting, Quintilius, you're gonna rest because you really need to. you're staggering at this point. You're holding yourself up out of sheer will and Adam's might, but you are going to collapse. You definitely need to rest. Ryker, you're the only one that knows that you're a synth in the group. So everybody, you can see these human people getting really tired and feeling that they should rest. What are you doing right now?
closes his eyes for 8 hours just
To meditate.
Are we awake? Lovely. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing. I feel like there's nothing out in the town. There's nothing outside that I'm interested in. I go upstairs. Did she put the spring in?
I think she hasn't put it in yet.
Search
I
a
think
page
she's gonna
number.
realistically she's
I
probably
don't
gonna
know.
get some help to get it
Yeah.
up and lift
Once
it.
everybody's asleep, I go upstairs and help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna just wait for everybody to fall asleep.
Yeah.
What is Glitch doing while everybody starts hunkering down and getting to sleep?
I'm going to milk the Brahmin.
Where is the Brahmin?
What do you mean?
Did you bring it like in McMinster, or did you leave the Brahmin outside? Like,
Oh,
is
it
it
follows me.
in limbo with you?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. So,
Yeah.
so we know the scene.
They go where I go.
Perfect. Love it. So it doesn't take long for those of you that need sleep to get to sleep. So Ryker, Glitch isn't going to sleep anytime soon.
That's fair.
Doesn't bother you.
Nope.
While the other people go to sleep, you're up and over
Yep.
there. All right. So Ryker gets up. He's heading up to the steeple.
Gives you the bro nod.
So now down in limbo, it's the sleeping
Brushing
people.
the cow.
He's clearly occupied with the
Yeah.
brown. Yeah.
Girl.
Yep. You know what? Do you care if he sees you walking up? No, don't care at all. All right, sweet. Do a perception and survival test, difficulty 0. I don't know if he cares that he notices you either.
Right.
Right? That's up to you guys.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Good for you. Look at that. You nailed it, and you'll get some AP added in there. Cool. So you are aware, as Glitch, as you're tending to your Brahmin, you do notice that Ryker does not fall asleep. He gets up, leaves the party, and heads up to the steeple. There you go.
Plan.
After a short period of time,
Things delicious.
you notice Joel, who is also laid down on one of the pews with everybody else. He sits up, kind of abruptly, awkwardly,
He sees you and he gets erect.
and walks directly over to you as you're tending to your Brahmin, and just watches for a minute. As you look at him, you notice his eyes take on a reddish hue, and he looks down at you.
He's stoned.
So stoned. He opens his mouth, and you hear, it sounds like his voice, but it's tinny, and it says, Trojan Protocol initiated. And for a second, his eyes go back to kind of normal. A single tear comes down his cheek, and he says, I'm sorry. And then you hear a beeping.
Oh my
You have-
god.
You have one action.
I'm going to Spartan kick or shove him with all of my might.
Just right back away.
as
from
far
you.
away. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So
Is there an orphanage that I could shove him towards?
you were in a church. It's about as close as you're getting.
Wow.
Do a strength and athletics test. Difficulty is 1.
Hold on. What do we know about Joel so far?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That he was
Nothing.
very
He showed
infatuated
up.
by
He
I
you.
actually
shot some
put 2
guys
points
that
in
you guys were
athletics
fighting,
for
and
some
then you guys
reason.
all looted together and moved on your happy ways. You asked any questions?
It's still only a 7, but
Amazing.
No, I just listened to it. I'm like, wow,
I got
you guys
one!
are really trusting. You got one.
mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, that's all you needed. So you waste no time, and you full on push him right to the
All
chest.
4 of your limbs.
He goes right back into the pews behind
You're
him,
still standing.
and as he bounces through the pew, he explodes.
It's like in Gold Member.
Explode.
Megan instructed me to
all
bring
right.
her home
So
with dopes if there wasn't.
who's in the pews?
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, I'm
Everybody.
I'm right next to his pew.
No, I told you I shoved him towards the orphans.
So
okay.
5 damage to your left arm,
My left arm.
5 damage to your right arm.
Why?
So you guys were cuddling with the left and your other left and right.
You say 5 for both sides?
No, it was one
No,
for each.
you and
Oh.
you. 5 damage to each person that was in the pews.
Okay.
That was a good catch. You would get half rounded because you're a little further back, so it'd be 3, and it's your right leg.
So you would.
Physical. So I only take 2
Okay,
because
so
I use his body as a meat shield. Right?
No. And that's how you wake up. So I can't say that you're well rested. Ryker, you are upstairs helping Sister Geiger. You've just
I
managed
think the
to get
DJ
spring
just showed up.
into the machine. You literally just lifted it in there. It's like chunk and then to the point that you're like, shit, what did we just do? Maybe we'll put it in backwards.
Like it happened perfect time.
Yeah, right? It was
Like the
just
Large
too good.
Hadron Collider going online for the first time. You're like,
So I assume that you would run down. No,
You will
To
be
see
in
the
the
DJ
library
person
and
that I think
yeah.
is here, yeah.
There's obviously
Flux
there's been an
Pavilion.
explosion. It's kind of like a grenade in limbo. People are injured. There's people crying, and there we are. That's the mess that we are into.
Can I find Joel's head and then keep it? Talk to it. Maybe.
graft it to your shoulder.
I'll spend a luck point to find the head intact, like the explosion happened here, so his head
Mhm.
popped off.
Yeah,
Like an
yeah,
old
yeah.
school crash test dummy.
Yeah, no, I love it. I have a plan. This is good. This is good.
I will put
sometimes you
Joel's
have an
head
idea,
in my
and
inventory.
it just gets better. Yes. Yes, you can keep Joel's head. Yeah, and there we
I
are.
come downstairs and yell, "What's all this about?"
Damn Calvin Harris.
Damn you, Calvin Harris! What an entrance.
So,
Troll.
that is that. There's no sense in questioning Joel because he's blown to bits. So you have his head. I don't think there's much to resolve as far as that goes. Somebody clearly Joel was a synth and detonated apparently to try to take out Glitch.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that was rude.
totally rude. What are your plans?
How classist of him.
In Mechminster, in general, where do we think we want to go right now as far as driving our campaign? Do we want to hang out in Mechminster? Is there somewhere else that we want
Well,
to
there
go?
was just a terrorist attack and people are injured all over the church.
I think it's time to leave.
It's like obviously
Just
a pivotal
sneak
point,
away in the
right?
chaos, like,
Well,
ugh.
like Ned Flanders back into the bushes.
Yeah.
I don't want to get blamed for this explosion.
I
I'm
did not
just
sign
gonna-
up for this, guys.
Not a
I
good
want to
time
do
to
a
be a Sith.
perception
Yeah,
test
like I'll meet you
to
guys
see if I
outside.
can see anything.
What
I'm
would you
looking
like to
for literally any clue to why this happened. If there's any people just like leaving the scene, or if there's anybody like poking in the door to make sure we're all dead, kind of thing. Like I'm just looking for anything suspicious.
Okay.
Just no blur.
Don't be
Do
suspicious.
a perception survival
Don't be
test.
suspicious. Don't be
difficulty
suspicious.
What's that?
Difficulty 1, perception and survival.
Oh, heck yes. That's a success.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you start piecing through the wreckage right away. Like you go into the heat of where that explosion was. Other people are trying to kind of get away from it. You go right in there, and you're like moving apart, aside bits and pieces of the pew, bits and pieces of people.
Unfazed though, I'm unfazed.
Yeah, no, you don't care. You're
Yeah.
looking for answers, not
Yeah.
blood. And you come across an arm, and this arm has like circuitry sticking out from the bottom, and you think, well, that's kind of weird. And you toss it aside, and you go a little further, and you're finding bits of human parts that are mixed with circuitry, and it strikes you as very weird, oddly familiar.
Okay.
And then you stand back, and you kind of like do a wider scan of the whole scene, and you can see Glitch, who is carrying Joel's head, and you can see circuitry sticking out from the bottom of and sparks coming out of it still, and Glitch is kind of tucking it aside like he's going to keep it. So from what best you can determine right now is Joel was apparently a synth of some sort, and he exploded.
And he had bombed.
He did all that. Yeah,
Okay.
because all the circuitry bits that you're finding too, they're all charred and stuff as well.
Right,
like it's pretty clear that that's the source of the thing
Okay.
that happened there.
What's the condition of the church right now? Like it sounds like the roof is still on, so we did not blow the roof off.
Yeah, it's like blowing out a baseball grenade in the church. So
Okay.
there's and it was already pretty beat up too. And this
Well,
is
that's
the
what makes
first,
me think the whole thing could have came down so easily. They
yeah.
were already trying to build a wall to keep God outside. So
Yeah.
now, I mean,
Structurally, it's not going to collapse.
Yeah.
But there's a good section of pews that are just destroyed, which is where people were sleeping and stuff.
Your exact dice.
gotcha.
Yeah. Structurally, the
Okay.
church is not going anywhere, but
Is
there's
there fire
there's
anywhere?
damage. There's little bits of fire here and there.
But like
yeah.
nothing.
No, yeah, it's not going to burn
Like
down.
you could pee on it.
Yeah, like actually, there are little bits of fire, which is important to note
Okay.
because Duncan is waking up after this explosion.
Oh, shit.
Duncan
And there's
had
little
dreams.
bits of fire everywhere.
Duncan's gonna have a wet dream.
Duncan had some weapon dreams.
Weapon dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking about his
weapon of mass destruction right here.
his flamer is
Mass
basically
destruction.
his god.
Yeah.
Right. So he's been thinking about how to modify this
Yeah,
god to be more godly.
Yeah.
And he had dreams.
Oh. So he woke up from his dreams and the place is on fire around you.
And it's a sign.
You're like,
Sign
this
of
is
things
good.
to come.
This is good.
Exactly.
Nice.
Sign of him to.
So
You wake
Quintilius.
up, you're like, this whole place is a loss.
Yeah.
It's all going down anyway.
the rest of the
There's
way.
like a couple pieces of paper on fire. You're like, no, it's all going down.
Quintilius, you did have time to fall asleep, only briefly, but you drifted a little bit, and you had a bit of a dream yourself. And as you drifted into the darkness of sleep, you can hear a baby crying. and suddenly you can see there's a bassinet. There's a baby there, and hovering just over this baby is a massive green-eyed moth. Yeah, and it's hovering over this baby, and it's reaching down, stroking his face very menacingly, like. And all of a sudden, you hear a gunshot, and it hits this unseen shot hits the moth, and it kind of bounces back into the darkness, screeching and everything, bits of its wings flying all over. Very dramatic, very dramatic. And then you see an individual step out of the shadows, wearing a hat. You would recognize him as a strange individual that is. Keep following. He picks up the baby. He picks up the baby and raises the baby above his head, and through the darkness, a pinpoint of light starts to shine onto the baby until it floods through the darkness, and there's only white. And then you wake up to the explosion in MacIsaac.
I know what you're doing.
So how do you react
know
to this nonsense?
And I go,
I don't.
And I go, ow, my arm. Because that's the first thing that I recognize is 5 points of damage to my left arm as my armor is blown away.
Yeah.
And I hold on to Duncan as tight as I can because I'm protecting him with my body.
Don't ever let go.
Don't let go, Jack.
Don't let go, Jack. All right. So I assume we're going to work together to kind of sift through some of the chaos here in the church. As, we put out little bits of flames and not add to them. We're not adding to the flames, right, Duncan?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm concerned about.
When I rolled over to hug him, I was actually also binding him.
That's what I'm thinking.
Holding him.
That's what I was thinking you were doing.
That's a good idea. So, Duncan, I want to see what your motivation is because I might change how the test works. If you want to let your character burn the place down.
I don't really care much. I just know that he is an arsonist and he wants to burn shit. That's what he wants to do.
So do you think you're...
Personally, I don't really want to, but that's kind of
is-
what Duncan would do.
But does he? So I guess morally, the question is like, is he okay with all of that stuff that he does when he burns stuff?
Yeah.
Or
Do
is
you
he
think
not?
he would be like, no, don't burn it.
Or is there an
don't
innocent
burn it.
trap
Or he'd
within
be
your
like,
mind?
hell yeah, let's burn this shit.
Yeah, he's like, hell yeah, let's burn shit.
All right,
Oh,
so
then yeah, it
roll
would
a
be
strength and
success.
athletics test.
Strength of us. Okay.
Yeah.
To break out of him. He wants
pretty
to
much.
break
This
free.
is the opposed test because you wake up and you see the flames and you're like, yeah, party time!
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
That makes sense.
Good thing I ran along.
I succeeded once.
So if you want to stop him from setting the place on fire, because you
Strength.
know he woke up very excited, and you know,
Strength up.
pretty
And I
excited.
woke
You
up
were
already
supposed to-
fairly excited, so...
Yeah. So difficult. It's a strength and athletics test as well because you're going to try to hold him.
Of course it is. I'm going to critically fail.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Difficulty 1.
That's a 4.
That's all I needed was a 4.
That's what I
I got one
too.
success.
Oh my
Nice.
god, thank god. I didn't actually want to burn the place down, but Duncan did.
So you managed to hold him. So now we're going to do we're going to try to talk him down a little bit, I would assume. Yeah. You don't
Let me out!
So we're going to do...
I gotta
opposed
burn
test
this place
the
down!
opposite way. So
I give him a piece of paper to burn instead. Here you go. Here.
that's good. That's a good
Got the
idea.
money.
So do oh man, we're doing charisma. We'll do a charisma and speech test.
Unless he wants to do that that paper thing. If he wants to try to burn one in front of me, I'd argue that's an intelligence test.
We could argue that.
But I don't
yeah.
think
It's
you'd
like
want to
what
do
would
that,
the
'cause then I would
what would the
succeed
opposed
better.
test be? You're gonna try to light the paper on fire to distract him.
Yeah. I'm gonna use
That's
like the
probably
childish,
more
like 3 years old, like,
intelligent.
hey, cookies.
Let's
Get the keys.
do intelligence. Sure. We'll
I
do
don't recommend you do that because
intelligence
I'm very
and speech.
smart. And
Yeah,
I'm going to
but-
see that as like you trying to distract me.
But I'm the good guy on our team, so I'm gonna use an AP.
In his turn, his test doesn't determine your test.
Oh.
Yeah, I just have to
Okay.
beat your success.
You're
But
gonna
you're-
provide the opposition.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right.
So you're
But
using
we're
intelligence
gonna
or
see what
whatever
the
to set
major
the
driving
difficulty.
force is for him to see what he has to roll.
Gotcha.
for, right? So you're doing an intelligence plus speech test. to
Speech?
try to- yeah, sure.
Intelligence speech. I can do that. I won't use AP because it's the two of us. So
I want you to know I'm not trying to beat you right now. This is just my character.
Well, I mean, in all fairness,
I want you to know that I'm trying
that
to
would
beat
be
you. I need. It doesn't matter.
You're setting
You're just setting
difficulty.
the
I'm setting the
difficulty.
So that is, what is that? Is this 6 or 9? So 9,
69.
18, 69. I got 1 success, but I have 1 luck point left. I'm going to reroll.
I'm spending 3 AP to beat this.
I'm not trying to beat you, except that I.
Ooh, that's a critical fail.
Oh no!
So I got a success and a critical fail. So not only did I let you go, but I burned my
Oh
hand.
man, well let's see how what it does here. So your difficulty. So he's trying to talk you down. He's lighting this thing in front of you, and we're trying to resist this stimulation in front of you, like talk it down. So I feel like it's still going to be intelligence, but I think we're going to go intelligence plus survival.
You shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry. It's just the thing that makes sense in my brain.
You just have to get a success for this, right?
Just 1 success and not a compliment.
Can I use a luck point to remove one of his dice? Can I use an AP to get rid of a die?
No.
I'm going to put it out there that my target number is 12 for this. I critically failed and succeeded.
That's the same thing I did.
Oh, nice.
So-
Nice. Okay, so this is perfect. This is what happens.
So you critically failed and succeeded. I critically failed and succeeded.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see
You
how you
didn't
do
get
this.
far.
The task was failed successfully.
Yeah, you let him go, but then you
No,
definitely-
not really. Not really. You didn't let him get too far. So
before I jump in and take you out of the
No, I
way.
think you're gonna jump up and you're gonna start shooting off your flamer, but he's still kind of holding on to you a little bit. So
Oh, shit.
roll a flamer shot.
Like big
You're
guns.
shooting
And...
your flamer.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Three successes.
3 successes. I'm not generating any AP for this, just for the record. Just so you know, because this isn't going to the group at all. All right, what's your damage on your flamer?
5.
Roll it up.
Can you just take 5 damage? 1, 2,
I'll
3,
take
4.
4 more.
And it's burst, persistent, sprint.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep just the numbers right now, just for the sake of, and I'm gonna have it. My initial plan was to take your damage and have it, and Tom's gonna take that because he's trying to hold you. You're jumping off, shooting the thing to your right arm. 2 damage to your right arm. So you start to shoot it off, and he's trying to hold you, and you start to calm down in the process of this happening. But you get a little bit of that juice out, and you're a good guy. You're a good guy. But you felt the burn.
Glow. I ignite my glow fist and I punch him in the back of the head.
And I won't stop
You will kill me. I have 2 HP.
No. We'll triage you afterwards. But if you're
You
down,
guys almost failed, and I almost died.
no. This is for the good of the many.
It's kind of true, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna donkey punch you.
Well, I'll tell you, Bobblefans, that episode really ended with a punch. You get it? You see what I did there? My wife's rolling her eyes at me, which means it's time to move on. Well, there we have it. Our heroes, they did the good deed. And then the church exploded. It's just another day with these guys. Question is, what now? That will be the topic of this week's poll. So chime in wherever you are and let us know what you think the guys should do next. Should they hit the high road, get out of McMinster before they're implicated in anything? Should they stay and help after this explosion? I'm sure they need it. Maybe they should get back to Diamond City. Let's see what you think. Could be any of those options, or none of them. You'll have to tune in next week to find out on the Bobblehead Boys.